Salut à tous et à tous, c'est Dark. Bienvenue dans la suite de Call of Cthulhu. On va essayer de comprendre un peu ce qui se passe.
He pours into Riverside, I presume it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He was a surgeon on board the Scylla.
Je sens que je vais
He
me prendre
founded the
bientôt des trucs
hospital
d'horreur,
in
mais pour le moment,
1904
je
with
retiens pas
funds
des
from the
masses.
Hawkins family before he died and his son Thomas Fuller took over.
Two families inextricably linked.
Most island families are that way. Captain Fitzroy's father was also a seaman aboard the Scylla.
Powerful families dominating everything.
Yes, and as you could tell, Dr. Fuller is like some crazed emperor.
He wouldn't be happy if he knew we were snooping around.
I know the risks. I don't fear him. Do you wish to know anything else?
I found a file bearing Sarah Hawkins' name in the Institute's basement.
It makes sense. A powerful family like the Hawkins had the means to hide such a disgrace.
But everyone knows the Fullers have been taking care of the Hawkins for at least a generation. And all were aware of Mrs. Hawkins' fragility.
Perhaps, but no one would allow a psychiatric internment.
From what I read in the file, Fuller used her as a subject of his experiments.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins, subjects of Dr. Fuller. Why those two?
J'en sais rien, moi.
Dr. Fuller seems to be leaving a trail of corpses. Not to mention those strange machines, chains, and tools of all kind.
Yes, I've been telling you that Fuller uses his patients as guinea pigs.
What I saw was more akin to torture than medicine.
Do you even hear what you're saying? Dr. Fuller is highly respected.
It's the truth, Ethan, and I'll prove it to you. I'm listening, Mr. Pierce.
J'ai rien d'autre à dire.
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
Papa, il est mort.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain.
L'alcool!
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
I didn't see what, but something was there with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
L'objectif est biaisé.
You're right. Without a plausible explanation for what I saw, let's not jump to conclusions.
That seems wise indeed.
Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Vite, j'ai besoin d'un verre. Laissez-moi boire. Allez, je vais... Alors, rien que pour vous, je suis en train de me mettre dans une merde. Je vous le dis tout de suite. Je vais finir très mal. J'ai deux choses qui influencent sur mon destin. Dans les deux choses, je suis dans la merde. La première, c'est l'alcool. Et la deuxième, c'est que je vais rester flou. Il m'a dit de pas croire, c'est ça? Bon, on va pas croire, hein. C'est pas du paranormal. Comment on pourrait tirer des conclusions sans parler paranormal? C'est le problème. J'ai un peu de mal à voir.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings
Cat?
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other.
We met briefly. Time enough to iron out a few matters. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me.
Surtout beaucoup de choses à comprendre. Salut Ulrich.
May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
J'avoue que le choix est difficile.
What happened to your husband is terrible, Mrs. Sanders. But from what I saw, it was inevitable. The man I met yesterday had lost his reason. He suffers no longer, if you would allow me such a platitude.
Of course. Thank you for your kind words. Nobody in that hospital would have deigned to speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe my mind. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
Alors, pour information, Cocotte, tu te rends compte que tes bras passent à travers la moitié de ton corps déjà? Et que ta tête est vachement trop animée? Ah.
Mrs. Sanders, I understand your grief, and I extend my deepest condolences to you. But I had nothing to do with the death of your husband. I've just arrived on Darkwater. I'm investigating the death of the Hawkins family.
The death of the Hawkins family? You mean it was not an accident? This accursed island knows only tragedy after tragedy. You too would be advised to flee it like the plague. Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Alors pour information, Rex, oui, je le regarde, mais je suis plus concentré sur le jeu. Si je réponds pas tout de suite, c'est normal. Faut pas s'inquiéter.
I deduce that your husband already mentioned this dimensional shambler.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it,
Bah vas-y, on va
I
voir
would
la
urge
galerie,
you to
là.
make the most of your visit. Because I count on ridding myself of that thing as soon as I can.
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
Bon. Elle est où ta putain de galerie? Bon, elle commence à fouiller. Ah, super! Pardon, je joue très mal du piano.
Did she really care for him after all?
Ouais.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
Ah oui. Ah, belle gueule, hein. Oh là là. Ouh. Ok, soit. Ah. Une tasse.
Frances Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even?
Peut-être même plus. Pia.
A house of artists. A house of artists.
Oui, alors merci. Je te répète.
Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler. Finally. What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting? He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? She first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel? Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins?
Je pense qu'elle l'était. Oh.
The Shambler. I need to see it.
Je pense qu'on n'a pas besoin de le voir, hein. Moi, je sais pas, vous le chat. Oh non, oh putain non. On va jouer à cache-cache. Putain, qu'est-ce qu'on va fuir? Il y a un truc qui va nous tomber sur le coin de la gueule, je suis sûr. Apparemment, c'est pas là. Retif. Nunurs. Non, mais on me demande de me cacher depuis le début du jeu.
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Un phonographe. Je suppose que c'est ça.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't take any more. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
Toi, ta gueule. Tes bras, ils sont mal faits. C'était comment? Non. 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 C'était quoi? Ah putain, faut que je le repasse. C'était quoi?
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes.
Le piano.
I can't take anymore.
Piano. J'arrive pas à déterminer si ça fait grave. Est-ce que quelqu'un serait capable de me dire? Je suis sûr qu'il doit y avoir un truc avec ce putain de piano. C'est obligé. Il y a quelque chose dans ce piano. Il y a un truc. Sinon, on me demande... Merde. Ok, alors, j'ai besoin de votre aide, le chat. Tout le monde, j'ai besoin de tous votre aide. Tendez bien votre oreille au moment du piano, s'il vous plaît.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes.
C'est 5 notes. C'est 2 fois le même truc. Et c'est quoi? C'est pas celle-là. C'est pas celle-là. Ah, attendez, peut-être. Ouais, mais c'est pour tout le monde en fait. Ah! Non, c'est pas celle-là. Celle-là, je suis sûr que c'est la 4e. Non, c'est pas ça. Ah! Non plus. Oh putain. Je suis sûr qu'il y a...
Irene,
Et si ça se trouve, je fais ça pour rien.
I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes.
Ça me gonfle. Je trouve pas.
I can't take it.
Ta gueule!
I can't hold him back.
Et ta gueule! Non. 4. Ah, moins que. Voilà! Fait!
Is this dagger part of Sanders' collection, or was he seeking to acquire?
Ah! Ah, mais si, les objets perdus en recueil écrit par Francis Sanders. La dague, je l'ai vue. Ça, je l'ai vu. Non, la dague, je l'ai peut-être. C'est pas un dague. Par contre, le symbole, oui. Voilà! Nunurs avait raison! Je savais qu'il y avait un truc avec le piano. On me demande pas de jouer du piano à moi. Vu comment je joue comme un pied. Fermé. Fermé. Bon! Je crois qu'on me laisse pas vraiment le choix. Hein? Je crois que t'inquiète, hein, pour moi c'est un peu pareil, hein, Tiff. Hein. Je crois que... À l'heure actuelle, je me fais un peu... Bonjour! Kat. J'ai envie de l'appeler Kit. Chaque fois.
I could use
Encore?
one of those.
Non, faut pas les prendre, c'est de la drogue.
A strange Amerindian pendant.
Non mais en occultisme, j'ai 50%. Ouais, l'avantage c'est qu'au moins... Ah bah voilà, j'avais dit de prendre le chargeur.
Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary. Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
D'accord. Ah bah voilà. Heureusement que c'est ton chargeur. Non, je te parlerai pas, Kat. Non, sérieux, je vais péter la boîte à côté. Allez. Merci. Au final, en médecine légale, j'ai 27%. Je suis une buse en médecine. Mon médecin, il est mauvais. Enfin, mon personnage est mauvais en soins. Bien. Bah. Oui. Oh. Je commence à croire qu'elles existent. Ah, j'aurais pas dû faire ça. Ceci va affecter mon destin. Oui, qu'est-ce qui se passe? Merde!
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
Ça aurait été moi, j'aurais été méchant.
I'm not here to cause trouble, if that's what's worrying you.
Worry me? Don't overestimate yourself. If the last beating wasn't enough for you, I can always give it another go. But as long as you keep out of my way, you're free to carry on with your visit.
I found this drawing of a dagger. Did you come across anything like it in your reading?
Perhaps. I saw several daggers in the ledgers. I could always check. What I didn't find, however, was the slightest reason why I should help you, Detective.
I don't need your services. I can manage all on my own, thanks.
Do it then.
Toi? Non. Viens là, je te brûle les cheveux! Viens! Voilà. Connaisse. Excusez-moi, c'est plus fort que moi. Bon! Littéralement, c'est le musée des horreurs. Bref! Le petit bagdash. Et bien écoutez les amis, je vais couper l'épisode là. Et je vais reprendre tout de suite après. Donc j'espère que vous aurez aimé cet épisode. C'est qu'il y a comme d'habitude un petit like, ça fait toujours plaisir. En tout cas, moi je vous dis à bientôt et à la prochaine. Et on se retrouve sur Team Nunurs pour la suite de cette série.